Hi, friends. It's Deanna Willison from Our Blooming Catholic Life. I'll tell you, this has been a really challenging passage in many ways. I've already filmed the second one and deleted it. It was personally very challenging, and it was almost a bit of an overshare for YouTube, so I went ahead and deleted that, and we'll try that again. I don't know about you. Do you get very vulnerable when you do these? It's one of the reasons I have the journal and I spend this time with you. Sometimes I write it on post-it notes and then I can write it down later. It's a lot. I don't want you to think that it's not a lot for me too, because it can be. Let's open up with the sign of the cross and St. Francis's prayer before the crucifix. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Summe glorioso Deus, illumina tenebras cordis mihi, et damniti factum rectum. Spem certin et caritatem perfectum domine ut faciam tuum sanctum et verax mandatum. Amen. Then Peter answering said to him, Behold, we have left all things and have followed thee. What therefore shall we have? And Jesus said to them, Amen, I say to you, that you who have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the seat of his majesty, you also shall sit on 12 seats, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that hath left house, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall possess life everlasting. And that's where I got challenged last time. Was reading it, the word land jumped out to me, and I was thinking, oh, well, that's really a prefigurement there of the disciples going out to a foreign land. So far they'd gone out, a little bit, but not like they're going to be called to in the future, right? So, that's really a prefigurement, and I wonder if they had heard it. And, I started down that road on the first reading, and it's like, wow, land. And then I did go to a deeper level, so let me read it again and see if you start seeing it, not necessarily in the physical sense like I was the first time, but going a little bit deeper. Then Peter answering said to him, Behold, we have left all things and have followed thee. What therefore shall we have? And Jesus said to them, Amen, I say to you, that you who have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the seat of his majesty, you also shall sit on 12 seats, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that hath left house, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall possess life everlasting. And remember, in the beginning of this whole passage, whole chapter, was really the Pharisees were challenging Jesus about marriage. And here, it's not just about marriage. It's about all of our family ties. It's about even our countrymen. We're leaving everything. We're completely trusting in the Lord. And that's what I really got about it last time, was really about divine abandonment. And we all know you're going to reach, if you haven't reached it yet, we all reach it, and possibly multiple times, a period where we know we're not going to be able to go further in the spiritual life unless we're willing to trust a whole lot more and get a whole lot more vulnerable. It's been in all the spiritual direction books I've been reading, all the books on prayer, all the books on the Holy Face. You have to go to a deeper level, or you're not going to get any further. There's only so far you can go. It's like you're wearing the life jacket. You only float at the surface when you're in the life jacket. And sure, you can see lots of things and you can move around great and you feel like you're getting a lot done. But those who can take that off and go a little bit deeper can see so many more things, feel so much more freedom. There's so many more things they get to do and experience. You all know when you're really little and you're in that baby pool off to the side that's not even attached to the pool. It's just this little round thing and it's really warm. We won't think about that. Let's go there. It's really nasty sometimes too. Not only is it warm because it's shallower, so it's getting heated by the sun, but, babies wear diapers and things, and so perhaps it's also a little funky. And it's like that in the baby pool, the spiritual life. We're still sitting so much, and we're just sitting in that nastiness. There's only so far we can go sometimes in that baby pool. And if you want to go deeper, you're going to have to get up, shower yourself off, for Pete's sake. And try and go into that little end. And in the beginning, you're either like clinging. Remember that period of your life when you're just clinging to the edge? Your little feet don't reach the bottom of even the shallow end, and you're just clinging on to the side or holding on to your parents for your dear life. And they may put a life jacket on you in this day and age. My parents, I don't think, did that when I was little. You might have had those little floaties instead of like a life jacket. They weren't the best. I've seen kids go down. They were like inflatable life rings, but kids, I've actually seen a child once just drop straight down the middle like a little rock to the bottom of the pool. They were saved. But short end of that story. But again, it's almost like a false trust. So we're clinging to the edge because we can't let go. And then somebody gives us like those little blow up floaties. And we have a false sense of security and we think we can do whatever we want and we take some risks and we're going to fall sometimes. We don't have that true faith yet. We don't truly know how to swim or dive or any of that. We're just really staying at the surface. But then you kind of want to go down. Your parents have put you in a life jacket, one of those ones that holds your head at the right position and all. You can't even see anything. And yes, you're safe, but you're also safe. And you want to be able to touch the bottom. You want to be able to dive down for treasures that may be down there. Maybe somebody lost coins out of their pocket. Did you ever have that parent that threw coins in the bottom of the pool just so you would be willing to go deeper to get them? And that's almost what this sounds like Jesus is saying here. So he's throwing some little promises out. Okay, if you go deeper, guys, here's your little rewards. Here they are. Go deeper. But it's such a challenge. And it can be like that. Some people only do this devotion or that devotion because there's promises attached, right? And sometimes you do them, though, because you know they're the right thing to do and you don't read the promises. That can be a difference in your spiritual life. I'm like, that's interesting. There's promises there. And someday I may read them. But in the beginning, I will say before, and I may be there again, there have been times where I've really clung to those promises. Like they're like a little safety. What? I'm trying to do this the best I can because these are the promises and these are things I really want. And then there's other times when you're like, I can't do this on my own anyway. So God's going to have to help me. He's the parent that's like helping me swim. And I know if something goes wrong, he's standing right there. He's got this by the grace of God. And he told us that last week. With men, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So then there's sometimes you start a devotion and you look at those promises, but you look at the challenges, all the requirements, and you're like, you could be overwhelmed, but you're like, God, all things are possible and God's with me. And so, yeah, okay, cool. Bring on the promises. It's such a difference to your spiritual life. And then you hit another thing where you see that deep end of the pool. And golly, that looks even better. And you see some people climb up that really scary ladder. I don't even know if they really have proper diving boards anymore. I was always terrified just of climbing up that far, let alone jumping off. So diving boards or slides, whatever. Sometimes the going up to jump off is just as scary as the jumping off, right? And the crash landing at the bottom. Or if you've ever done it in the wild where you sit at top of a waterfall and then you push off into the waterfall. And the pool's a little bit deeper at the bottom. Please don't do this and break your neck. Please don't. Please don't do everything I say just because of that. There was a waterfall where as a kid we could go and do that. It was at camp. There was supervision at the top and the bottom of the waterfall. But we did. We sat where the water was running and first it's freezing because you're sitting in it and you push off. And the thing was, because of the water plunging down, it makes a plunge pool. So it's a little deeper than it looks. Now you still bend your knees when you land. There's all kinds of safety protocol. Don't just do it. But it's like that in the spiritual life too. You have to be brave, and it's cold and frightening at first, and you push off, and you just have to have complete trust, and you kind of do the right things. You do the things that you were told to do to prepare you for that landing, to prepare you for that trust, and God has you in the end. So that's just a metaphor. I'm not saying go jump off waterfalls. Please don't do that, friends. But it's just a story from my childhood that I did, and there's so much trust, and and it's exhilarating because you found that I did that. I climbed up that high place. I did that challenging thing. I did all the challenging, hard things because you want to put your arms out and fly like a bird or something. You have to hold them in and you have to bend your knees and you had to remember all that. And yet it was exhilarating, right? That freedom at the bottom. And then you could swim over to the side and you'd run back up the side of the mountain to do it again. because it was amazing to feel that love and that trust, that moment of pure freedom. But that freedom doesn't come from flying through the air, friends. It comes from complete trust in God. And that's that feeling that we're kind of chasing, that complete abandonment and trust in God. Whatever those promises are, we know in the end we're going to be with him, beholding his face. That's the goal, right? And so there's a lot of trust and abandonment. So God's telling us here, yeah, it's going to be hard. You're going to leave all this stuff behind, but you have no idea what is waiting for you. You have no idea what is waiting for you in life everlasting. He's like, you can't even imagine it. 100-fold. You can't even imagine it. It's kind of cool, right? And that's challenging. How, we're on a Wednesday show. How is that affecting your life? That's a challenge. Are you going deeper? Are you maybe reining in some of your sensory things? Maybe you're trying to fast more times a day or more times a week or once a week. And maybe you have a special diet and it doesn't look the same for everyone for fasting. But maybe you can figure out a way, something to give up that is frivolous. Okay, that's like kind of level 1. We're giving up something that's frivolous. You may have to give up something that's even more challenging for you to give up as we go along. It can be a little scary, but remember, Jesus has you. Then Peter answering said to him, Behold, we have left all things and have followed thee. What therefore shall we have? And Jesus said to them, Amen, I say to you. Why does he say amen? He really is emphasizing this. Like, seriously, guys, listen here. Amen, I say to you, that you who have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the seat of his majesty, you also shall sit on the 12 seats, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that hath left house or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall possess life everlasting. He's like, do it. You've already been doing it. You're doing a great job, guys. And you just can't even imagine. It's okay. I know your sacrifices were huge, but trust me on this. Amen, friends. Benedicat tibi Dominus et custodiat te ostendat Dominus faciam suum tibi et misereatur tui convertet Dominus voltum sum ad te et Dominus bonus det tibi pacem. Amen. In nomine Patris et Filii Spiritus Sancti. Amen.